It's week 4 of the National Football League, and we'll see Miles Sanders. He was terrific a week ago, almost getting to 180 yards. It's the Eagles and the Jaguars. All that and more coming up next.
Just north of the Delaware Expressway and east of Broad Street, we find ourselves at Lincoln Financial Field in South Philly. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they enter play here. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And if you look back to last week, it was all about their defense. Anytime you hold an NFL team to single digits, that's saying something.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
A couple of 2-1 teams set to square off, and we're underway here in NFL Week 4. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. And for the first time, we get to see this Philadelphia offense led out by their dual-threat quarterback now in his 3rd season, Jalen Hurts.
Tremendous production in college at 2 different universities, and this is a guy who was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Still much more of a runner than a thrower, but has plenty of arm and is capable of making the big throws downfield. And don't underestimate his ability to think the game. Remember, he's the son of a coach.
First play, and Hurts looking to throw it. Being chased out left. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. On is Mason Crosby for the point after. And this is up and good. The score now 7-0 Jaguars. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And his guys all right at the 20-yard line. So back onto the field, here come the Eagles for their second drive. Hurts now hoping to make up for that pick 6. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Carl Nassib shooting in and taking him to the ground. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Sanders' first carry of the game. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Hurts. Out to the left there and complete to the tight end Goddard. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Jones on the return. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return, and the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. Jacksonville's offense trots out here for the first time, and all eyes go right to number 16. Now in his second season as the team's face of the franchise, Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up first and 10 at their 35-yard line. Lawrence will throw. Finds his tight end Ingram. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
I really like what Jacksonville did in free agency, and what a smart gamble, in my opinion, bringing in Evan Ingram on a 1-year deal. Best case scenario, he gets back to being the Pro Bowl player he was in 2020 and gives Trevor Lawrence a big-time weapon in the middle of the field. That duo links up there and picks up a first down.
Now Lawrence on first down. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And they'll run it. This is James Robinson. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Now, this defense for the Eagles, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Washington.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number? 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
They'll get only 3 there, so it leaves them with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. What a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
ETN bringing in another one. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Now that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
Now Mason Crosby on for the field goal. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. The kick by Crosby is good, and that will extend their lead even further. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10.
Come on.
Throwing is Hurts. Rolling to his right. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Hey, check that. Street.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Hurts. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
Yeah, and you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
So after that sack, Hurts and the Eagles, tough spot here, 3rd and long.
Hawk 70.
He'll drop to throw. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's Devin Lloyd with a pick, and they will take over at the 26-yard line.
And partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack, because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
Ready, break. Kill. Block it. Opposite.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. He'll take it inside the 25.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going. And then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That second down play nets a -4. He was able to escape momentarily in the backfield, but you could just kind of tell that wasn't going anywhere.
You know, in the film session, he'll get a minus for not getting him on the ground by himself. But what the coach is really going to analyze, how fast did his teammates get there to help him? If one guy slows him up, everyone else better be there, and that's what they got on that play.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
But when you go on the road, you're hoping to make plays that will take the crowd out of the game. I think it's a pretty good example right there.
Yeah, a break like that never hurts, especially in the first quarter. Maybe help to set the tone a little bit.
Could settle them down, get them into the game a little bit easier without that crowd really being against them.
Let's go.
Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Ready to go.
On second and goal, Lawrence. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is third and goal. Here's Lawrence. And he's going to go down. Sandbag at the 13-yard line. Kaiser White, the former safety, gets the sack.
It's up to how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. Now Mason Crosby on for the field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Crosby is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they had the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
Fields it right around the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Been a nightmare of a first quarter for him. 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown. As he starts again here, 1st and 10. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Open man, that's Devontae Smith. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run with Sanders. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. It shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
Hurts throw here taken in as he's able to find Goddard. So the completion good for just 3. 3rd and 7 now. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. 13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports. Now second quarter action from Philadelphia, and it's the Eagles in possession. Here's Aaron Sipos out now to punt on 4th down. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And it'll be Jaguar football as they take over deep in their own territory. 2 fantastic games coming up to wrap up Week 4, the first weekend in October. Tonight, the Chiefs and Buccaneers from Tampa. That's a rematch of Super Bowl 55, of course. And then Monday night, Rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. The Rams and Niners from Santa Clara. Coverage on that one, 8:15 Eastern. They start on the ground with Robinson here. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Had the right idea, though, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
The Jaguars on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Lawrence to throw. They'll complete this to Ingram, his tight end. And he is going to have a Jags first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
On first down, Lawrence. And he'll just get rid of it.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Lawrence looking middle, and it's incomplete.
They certainly thought they had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Lawrence. Working the sideline here. Did he get the feet in? Yes, they say that he did. Nice job tapping both of them down. Lawrence to Jones. First down, Jacksonville.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even third down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. But to throw again is Lawrence. Flushed out right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on first down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
2nd and 8 coming up. Now Lawrence. Throw left side complete. That's Arnold. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. It'll be a gain of 5. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball, possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
From midfield now, Lawrence. The pressure gets to Lawrence, and he'll go down. In there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
Philadelphia lost Brandon Graham to an Achilles injury just 2 games into the 2021 season. He had 8 sacks in each of the 2 seasons prior, making the 2020 Pro Bowl.
So after a rare misstep on this drive, they'll try to make amends on 2nd and 15. Another try after the first down sack. Lawrence under pressure again, and down he goes again. Brandon Graham. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
Man open, here is Jones. Touchdown, Jaguars. Marvin Jones, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jags are able to cash in for 6. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that's the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Eagles just about set to go to work on offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there. They'll have a 2nd and 1.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard.
Hurt! Right there, Hurt!
Here's Hurts to throw. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a first.
Alert! Alert!
Now a handoff up the middle. It's Sanders. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
18, right here!
From just shy of midfield, Hurts. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Sanders. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Ready.
The Eagles into the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 right at the 20.
Ready.
Another run with Sanders. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Ready.
2nd and 5.
Reload. Reload.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Sanders. He will push his way down to about the 14. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
This is 1st and goal, and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll run with Sanders. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. They'll try to run with Sanders. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Hurts sets up to throw it. Blitz coming, and down he goes. A nightmare on 3rd and goal. He's sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by Elliott is good, and that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well, and kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. Taken at the goal line. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit, but first let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. We'll start in the NFC East with 2 teams that have no love lost between them. Washington at Dallas. And it's the Cowboys out on top as they've gone to the half. 2 touchdown passes there for Dak Prescott. From there, we head up to the Motor City to check in on the Lions at home at Ford Field. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And they trail the visiting Chicago Bears. Dante Pettis, a touchdown reception. We continue on with the check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Jags. And their offense has been in top form so far, especially their passing game, as it's helped push them out to this big halftime lead. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit. Both these teams making their final halftime adjustments. We're just about ready to get back to football. So for the call of the second half, we get back up to Philadelphia and Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in the second half. Here's Jones to bring it out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Jaguars ready to get going to start quarter number 3. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Lawrence. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Great vision there by Lawrence as he scrambles for a first down.
At least this time he's getting hit after a positive play for his offense. The pressure was coming through yet again, but he certainly didn't stick around for the sack on this occasion. Found an escape route and ended up getting the first down before taking the hit.
And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one.
The previous play is under review.
Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
After review of the play, ruling on the field.
So the decision to challenge does not pan out, and that's also going to cost him a timeout.
On the ready.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Check, hands in. Alert.
Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. In the sight to Fletcher Cox.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still 4th down.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on 2nd down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. He certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough. This is taken at the 15. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45, and they will take over 1st and 10. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He'll start with a handoff to Sanders. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down. And now a pause because we've got A.J. Brown dinged up on that last play, and they're going to have to get some medical attention to it. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
60 Bison. Go, Reed, go.
They'll look to throw here. Eluding the pressure right. This is Smith with a grab. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. And now they're in the hurry up. Hurts a handoff to Sanders. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. They'll fake the give to Sanders, and now Hurts. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
The tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Now Sanders. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Hurts. Over the middle. And a loose football. And the Jags grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Well, if these guys wanted to get back in this game, they needed an almost perfect second half. And down 3 scores, a lost fumble here certainly doesn't fit into that plan.
That reminds me of my plan in college to get an A on the papers I turned in, but that didn't work out too well either. Too many mistakes by both of us. I mean, that's just pure and simple. And that's why that's exactly where they are in this ball game. They're going to need a huge turnaround if they want to try and win this one.
Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Lawrence's throw here taken in by Ingram. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. 2nd down and a run by Robinson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Robinson will try to pick it up. That is not going to be any help as they take it behind the line of scrimmage. The defense stiffens to force 4th down following that 1st down gain of 8.
And they've just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks. And now here's a tackle behind the line.
The Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. This is brought in at the 21. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
just shy of the 40. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man covers are so committed to denying the big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Looking to throw. Ball hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 63 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Another run here with Sanders. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4 on 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down. Just what they need, electric from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
Open man is Goddard, the tight end. And he will not get what he needed as he stops short of the 1st down at around the 22. Short completion, just 4 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
So Hurts is off, and on comes Jake Elliott for the Eagle field goal. He connected on his first. This time it's 39 yards away. The kick by Elliott is good, and that will close the gap down to 14. So that maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but it does get them back within a couple of scores.
And at this point in the 3rd quarter, you don't have much margin for error, and that means you can't have drives that end with nothing. Whether it's a punt, a turnover on downs, those have to go away. You have to end with a kick, either a field goal or an extra point after a touchdown.
Here's Jones to bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. So here are the Jaguars to take over on offense. They've got the lead here as they begin this drive, trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth from the loss last week to the LA Chargers. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10 at the 20. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. Caught on the right side by Jones.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
A 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Now Lawrence to throw. On the slant, he'll get it to Jones. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 11 yards for number 11.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he powers through the first wave, but he's going to be swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Lawrence will throw. Flush to his right. They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down. We have played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's Jaguar football here, and they'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. On 3rd down, Lawrence. And Ingram holds it in. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the 4th quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage, because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Brandon Graham able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Lawrence. And the pressure gets to him again. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Now Lawrence on 3rd and long. And this is caught at the 20. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Lawrence with the handoff to Robinson. And he will force his way forward for a yard or 2, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back.
Holding. Offense.
So not a lineman, but the tight end instead this time, drawing the holding call.
And more what you're getting with tight ends are guys who are much more receiver than blocker. They may be willing, but that might not be their thing. Oftentimes, they'll be the ones getting the penalties.
Looking to throw, Lawrence. Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down. Lawrence going to give this to Robinson, draw play. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. On 3rd down, here's Etienne. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
Second down and goal. Lawrence. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him past the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick 6 TD. And now both of these defenses have something to brag about following this one, each with a pick-6 today.
Yeah, even there, but we still have to decide a winner, don't we, partner? And what they really want to brag about after this one is getting that W. The turnovers are great. Can they make plays now that tilt the balance in their favor?
Elliott good with a PAT. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And now this fourth quarter becoming very interesting. That pick-6 makes this a one-score game. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how aggressive they choose to be. They begin the drive with Robinson. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Josh Sweat coming in strong and dropping him behind the line of scrimmage. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
On 2nd and 12, Lawrence, and completes it, and the ball is knocked out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. They'll take it past the 40 to the 41, second down. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. You mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Give him 4 yards there, and now it's 3rd and 3.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here, down late, tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Three yards remain for second down. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. And now here comes the third of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they will take a knee here. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on second down. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. Well, whistles and a stoppage here. Looks like one of the Eagles is in some discomfort out there. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, are going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. On third down, Robinson. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stacked at the 22, and he needed plenty more. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
So barring something extraordinary here in the closing stages, that field goal should just about put this one on ice.
Yeah, we've got to find 2 scores. So, you know, we're not going to exactly move it over there yet. It can be done, but, boy, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they would have to move incredibly quick and have some luck, too. Taking it about the 1. And makes it across the 20 as these guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, 2-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back and then score again. But they can't worry about the last 2 points. The only thing that matters is scoring quickly. Then they'll take it from there.
Off the play fake. Here's Hurts. He's going to let it fly. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
Hurry, hurry!
To throw again on second down. Hurts. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete, as time has run out on this football game. So this will be a win for Jacksonville. And I tell you what, one thing that you and I featured as a storyline was that they were facing the NFL's #1 defense coming in, and they really took it right to them.
Yeah, they didn't blink, did they? And instead of just saying to themselves, let's make sure that we minimize our mistakes and try and play a conservative type game, they attacked right from the beginning. Said, we got to go after these guys. I think sometimes you take the #1 rated defense by surprise when you do that.
So for the Jags, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Houston Texans. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals.